Hi guys, this is Squishy Bee. I came across a really interesting article today that I wanted to share with you. The National Aeronautics Space Administration and FEMA in 2017 devised and initiated a supposed fictitious scenario in which the two agencies would drill down on an asteroid that's set to impact the Earth in or just off the coast of California on September 20th, 2020. But is this so-called exercise really just a drill? NASA claims the simulation was designed to strengthen the collaboration between the two agencies, which have administration direction to lead the U.S. response. But could the drill actually go live like so many other drills have in the past? Example, July 7, 2007 London bombing, the September 11, 2001 attacks on the World Trade Center and Pentagon, and others. It's not a matter of if, but when we will deal with such a situation, Associate Administrator for NASA's Science Mission Directorate, Thomas Zurbuchen said. But unlike any other time in our history, we now have the ability to respond to an impact threat through continued observations, predictions, response planning, and mitigation. The exercise was designed to create a forum for the planetary science community to show how it would collect, analyze, and share data about a hypothetical asteroid predicted to impact Earth. Emergency managers discussed how the data would be used to consider some of the unique challenges an asteroid impact would present for preparedness, response, and public warning, according to NASA. Representatives from NASA, FEMA, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, the Department of Energy's National Laboratories, the U.S. Air Force, and the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services attended the initial meeting and will be participating throughout the 4-year-long exercise, which is set to come to head on September 20th, 2020. It is critical to exercise these kinds of low probability but high consequence disaster scenarios, FEMA Administrator Craig Fugit said. By working through our emergency response plans now, we will be better prepared if and when we need to respond to such an event. The exercise simulates a possible impact 4 years from now in which, according to NASA, a fictitious asteroid imagined to have been discovered this fall with a 2% probability of impact with Earth on September 20th, 2020. The simulated asteroid was initially estimated to be between 300 and 800 feet, which is 100 and 250 meters in size, with the possibility of making impact anywhere along a long swath of Earth, including a narrow band of area that crossed the entire United States. In the fictitious scenario, observers continued to track the asteroid for 3 months using ground-based telescope observations, and the probability of impact climbed to 65%. Then the next observations had to wait until 4 months later due to the asteroid's position relative to the Sun. Once observations could resume in May of 2017, the impact probability jumped to 100%. By November of 2017, it was simulated that the predicted impact would occur somewhere in a narrow band across Southern California or just off the coast of the Pacific Ocean. NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory. To make matters worse, NASA has recently listed a real asteroid, not part of the drill, as making its close approach to Earth on September 20th. The object, dubbed 2017 SL16, just so happens to have been discovered in 2017, which correlates with the drill initiation date. This raises a major red flag. You don't say. Making the scenario even more dramatic, role players did not allow for deflection or mitigation of the earthbound asteroid and instead opted to forcefully evacuate residents from the city of Los Angeles. While mounting a deflection mission to move the asteroid off its collision course had been simulated in previous tabletop exercises, this particular exercise was designed so that the time to impact was too short for a deflection mission to be feasible, to pose a great future challenge to emergency managers faced with a mass evacuation of the metropolitan Los Angeles area. Very interesting that this just happens to be in California, where everyone is pretty much fleeing from these fires. I mean, coincidence, or maybe there's a little bit of trying to get people out of there without actually telling people why they want them out of there in order to, keep from causing a panic. That's just a thought. I don't know, because you know that these guys know that Wormwood is inbound. And the Bible tells us very clearly that there are going to be not only the one meteor impact, but all kinds of meteorites that are going to be flung down onto the earth. And we're already starting to see that happening now. You can see footage all over the place, all over the world, of little meteorites and meteors coming down, and all kinds of them going by really slowly, and you can see them going by with their tail, and they're catching some amazing footage of Wormwood with the wings going out to the side, which is, the way that the Bible described it, is why it looks like a red dragon, because it's got the wings and it's red. And this is why we have so much of the sky turning red. Personally, I don't think that all of these red skies are due to these fires. I think that the skies have been getting more and more red with these crazy, bizarre sunsets way over here in New York, nowhere near, California, all over the world, for quite some time now. And people just look at it and don't even acknowledge that something is different. They just go about their normal day. No idea what's incoming. Anyways, scientists from JPL Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, Sandia National Laboratories, and the Aerospace Corporation presented predicted impact footprint models, population displacement estimates, information on infrastructure that would be affected, as well as other data that could realistically be known as various points throughout the exercise scenario, NASA reports. The high degree of initial uncertainty, coupled with the relatively long impact warning time, made this scenario unique and especially challenging for emergency managers, FEMA National Response Coordination Branch Chief Leviticus A. Lewis said. It's quite different from preparing for an event with a much shorter timeline, such as a hurricane. As a caveat, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo stated back in March that we are in a live exercise, potentially letting the cat out of the bag. Yeah, I need to show you a clip of this, okay? Take a little look at how Pompeo makes this little slip, and then Trump, standing next to him, is like mumbling underneath his breath, like, yeah, you should have let us know. Just listen to this for yourself.
This is not about retribution. This matters going forward. We're in a live exercise here to get this right. We need to make sure that we're in a live exercise here to get this right. We're in a live exercise here to get this right. We're in a live exercise here to get this right. We're in a live exercise here to get this right.
Isn't that the craziest thing? My goodness. United States Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had a slip of the tongue while addressing the American people from the White House when he stated that COVID-19 is a live military exercise. This is not about retribution, Pompeo explained. This matter is going forward. We are in a live exercise here to get this right. With a disgusted look on his face, President Trump replied, "You should have let us know." I can't get over this. Anyways, military exercise meaning from Wikipedia, A military exercise or war game is the employment of military resources in training for military operations, either exploring the effects of warfare or testing strategies without actual combat. This also serves the purpose of ensuring the combat readiness of garrisoned or deployable forces prior to deployment from a home base. The question we must now ask is, will the drill go live? I think it will, okay? Because we know the end of the story because we've read the Bible, okay? So we've got some serious inbound rocks. Okay, so people should be keeping a very close eye on this. We don't know how much of this, little bits and pieces, we're going to see before the rapture. But if you are not saved right now, this is the time. Okay, don't wait, because you don't want to be here for when the rest of this stuff goes down. Believe me, there are some really horrible things coming. And I wanted to share with you several things that kind of go along with this that I'm a little bit concerned about. Okay. So the first thing I wanted to show you is Deagle.com. When you go to Deagle.com, you'll see that they're an intelligence agency that provides information to the following partners and clients according to their own website: National Security Agency, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is NATO, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OSCE, Russian Defense Procurement Agency, Stratfor, and the World Bank, and the United Nations. Okay, so when you go to their website, you can click on these reports and see what all of the details. Okay, so in 2017, when you click on the United States, it shows their population as being 327 million people. But if you look down to their forecast, it shows for 2025 as the population being 100 million people. Okay, what happened to the other 227 million? Something clearly is expected to happen to knock out 227 million people. And remember, this was done in 2017, long before the pandemic, so they can't, nobody should be thinking that it's the virus taking out these people. It's something else. And if you look at some of our allies, they also have some serious problems going on here. Let's look at Japan. All right, Japan shows, again, this is 2017, at 126 million people. And if you look down to their forecast for 2025, it's 103 million people. Okay, so that's a lot of people that are missing in that little bit of time. Let's go back and look at who else is an ally. Let's look at Australia. Australia, population 23 million. Of course, it's 23. Got to get the 23 in there. And let's look at what the population will be in 2025. 15 million. So, not as much as us all the way on the other side of the world, but still a significant number of people are going to be missing, according to these people. And they plan their budgets by this. All right? So, I don't know what's going on here. Let's look at Germany. Let's see what Germany says. Germany shows a population of 81 million in 2017. And we'll go down to forecast 2025, 28 million. 28 million people down from 81 million. That's crazy. What is going on here? So, I don't know. There's just so many things adding up together that just, that just shout, hey, get on the ark. All right, get on the ark. Because a whole lot of people are about to die. and you don't want to be one of them. So please, if you are not saved, please don't wait another day. All right, you are not promised another day. I just survived 3 acute kidney injuries in the last 2 months. People generally don't survive 1. And I've survived 3. I'm down now to my kidneys working at 20%. And I am disqualified from any transplants. So whether I get raptured or not, I'm out of here soon. But any of us could suddenly have a serious health problem and not wake up in the morning. And you want to be guaranteed that if you die 5 minutes from now, you will wake up in heaven. And if you don't feel confident in that, then what are you waiting for? You can be very confident. You can know right now 100% that if you die, you will wake up in heaven. Despite all of the confusion out there, it is actually very childlike simple. All right, let's take a quick look at what you need to do to be saved and be out of here before any asteroids hit, before any more fires burn up your state, because there's going to be a lot of fires going on. You think California is bad, you just wait, okay? The Bible talks about 1/3 of the forests being burned up during the Great Tribulation. All right, which is a 7-year period that's coming up as soon as this rapture happens, which is soon, okay? So if you want to know today that you are absolutely saved without a doubt, what you need to do is read the gospel, which is 1 Corinthians 15, 1 through 4, and I'm going to read it to you now so that you've heard it at least once, okay? Moreover, brethren, I declare unto you the gospel, which I preached unto you, which also ye have received, and wherein ye stand, by which also ye are saved, if ye keep in memory what I preached unto you, unless ye have believed in vain. For I delivered unto you first of all that which I also received, how that Christ died for our sins according to the Scriptures, and that he was buried, and that he rose again on the 3rd day according to the Scriptures. So that is the gospel. Now you've heard it. And all you have to do is understand that and believe it. And then you are saved. Okay, faith comes by hearing the Word of God. So if you want to increase your faith, start reading the Bible. That's how you're going to increase your faith. And I very much recommend a couple of great channels that you can learn verse by verse and have someone explain it to you in an easy to understand manner, which is what really helped me, because a lot of people would really love to read the Bible. They want to believe, they believe in God, but they don't really understand the Bible, and they don't really understand the gospel. Some of them, most of them, have never even heard of the gospel, or didn't even know that there was a place in the Bible that's actually called the gospel. So what I very much recommend is going to a channel called Robert Breaker, where he will teach you so many things on a whiteboard and make it really easy for you to understand. Also, The Beat by Alan Parr. He does some really great videos where he answers so many common questions, especially for new Christians. He does some really great videos on relationships and all kinds of stuff. The most common questions any of us ever had when we first became a Christian, this guy covers it, and he does a pretty good job. And also, I would suggest J.D. Farag. He's a great pastor that uploads sermons every week, and he does Bible studies. He does prophecy updates, which is amazing. So he goes over a lot of world news and stuff from a Christian perspective. And I'll leave the links for those in my description box as well. So I would very much, go to these people that have been Christians for a long, long time and know the Bible way better than me. And I would, and can explain things way better than I can. I don't really have a way with words because I had multiple strokes. And so a big chunk of my brain is literally missing. And so I'm lucky that I can actually spit out a video at all these days. So anyway, that is the gospel, and I hope that this helped somebody out there. I very much want to share with you some pictures and some video that I found of some really crazy sky stuff that goes along with this article. I think that we're starting to see more and more people catching Wormwood in all of its little buddies that he's dragging along with him with their cameras, because the chemtrails maybe are having a harder time covering it as it gets closer. What we're going to be seeing, I think, is a whole lot more crazy weather, a lot more earthquakes, a lot more volcanic activity, because as this planet comes in, remember, this planet itself is not going to hit the Earth, okay? That would wipe the Earth out, obviously. There'd be nobody left and nobody to save, okay? What it's going to do, though, is affect us with its magnitude of gravity, okay? If you think about the moon and how it affects our tides, all right, and how it also affects people mentally, people actually are affected, their mood, by like a full moon and stuff. Imagine that on a greater scale with something that is so much bigger than the Earth, that's getting closer and closer. It's going to affect everything on the Earth, and it's going to affect people. And I think that partly that is why people are behaving crazy. The other is because evil is rising, okay? Satan is very, very busy trying to get people to be, to go down with him. He knows his time is short, and he wants to take as many people with him. And so there's literally a battle over your soul at all times that you don't see all around us. God is trying to save you and call you into his arms and say, hey, just come to me, I'll save you. And then you've got this other guy like, don't listen, you just live however you want to live. And, there's no hope for you. Nobody can save you. God's not real. He even tries to convince you that Satan's not real, but, obviously Satan is real. There's a whole bunch of demons running our country as we speak. And they're controlling a lot of people right now, riling people up on all sides, and people are just acting cray-cray. So anyway, I just want to share you some of these pictures. I will leave you with that, and I will be back again, guys. Until then, I'll be seeing ya. Bye-bye.